A very beautiful day to you out there, and welcome to News Points on Memories TV. I am Ofonisa Basit Johnson. Today on News Point is an interview session on the rising cost of premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol. The latest increase in pump price of petrol in Nigeria has taken a toll on homes and also businesses. As of last week, there was widespread condemnation on the hike in petrol price, and Nigerians have reached their breaking point. Nigerians woke up last Tuesday to see a change in pump price of petrol from 600 naira to 855 naira, and as we're speaking now is about 1,500 naira, and this has affected not only the transportation cost but also the prices of goods in the market. Few days ago, NNPC released an estimated pump price of petrol pegging it at 950 naira, and this is very, very disturbing. That's why we have in the studio today the Director Niger Delta Development Surveillance, Elder Orok Ben, who will be lending a voice on the situation in Nigeria. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's nice to have you. This is Memories TV.
You're welcome.
All right, so you are the Director, Niger Delta Development Surveillance. Before we go into talking about the rising cost of premium motor spirit, let's talk about your office.
Okay, thank you very much for having me here. Yes, my name is Orok Ben, and I was a Director, Niger Delta Security Surveillance. It's a surveillance firm that deals exclusively on illegalities that goes on in the oil sector. We partners with the security agencies to see how we can reduce the abnormalities that is going on in this particular sector. We checkmate a lot of adulteration, the diversions of petroleum product, and pipeline vandalizations as well. These are the areas we partners along with the federal government and the security agencies to make sure that we minimize these criminal activities to the barest minimum. And I'm also at the same time a member of a PTD Nupeng, being the fact that also have a truck, a tanker that also convey these products to various destinations automatically. We are also a member of the PTD Nupeng, being one of the very outstanding regulator in the oil and gas sector. So that is where I am, and that is the areas we deal with.
Okay, so talking about pipeline vandalization and also talking about illegal refineries. Recently NAV has clamped down on a lot of illegal refineries. How has your office been able to do that? Is it done by your office, or is just NAV works separately from your office, or is it in collaboration with your office?
No, what we do is our main responsibility here is we partner with the federal government and the security agencies. Most of them, these security agencies are attached to this office, the Niger Delta Security Surveillance, and that we go on patrols. We do a lot of arrests, and in many cases, we hand them over to security agencies, the police, the civil defense, and for prosecution once most of them got arrested. And by these activities, by this work that we are doing, you can see that this state, Akwa Ibom in particular, is almost completely rid of these irregularities. If you look at what is happening today, you can attest to the fact that almost there is nothing like adulteration of petroleum products in this state. There's nothing like pipeline vandalizations, even if we barely have one, but we have few of them out there in the sea. There's nothing like diversions of petroleum products in this state. This is one of the areas we have contributed so much, and I thank God we have succeeded.
So you say it with so much belief that there is nothing like petroleum adulteration in Akwa Ibom State, but there are still people running bunkering businesses. How has your office been able to deal with that situation?
That's exactly some few months back. If you have your ears to the ground very well, you would realize that a lot of AGL, that is diesel, is well known. has adulteration of that product has been in circulations in so many filling stations, some years back and some months ago. But when we came in, we partner with the security. We smoke them out. Anywhere they are, we get to their illegal depot, we get to their illegal refined positions, and we get them arrested. A lot of them has been arraigned in courts, which is still in progress. A lot of them are in detentions. By reason of these peculiar responsibilities, that has reduced drastically these illegal activities in Akwa Ibom. Barely can you find an adulteration in any of the filling stations as at today. This is as a result of these pragmatic activities of the security agencies, the police, the civil defense in partnership with my agency. And I thank God we have succeeded.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Now let's talk about the increase in premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol. Please, sir, what is going on? Because as it is now, most Nigerians are destabilized. People are buying petrol at the cost of 1,500 naira rather. There's even scarcity. What is really going on? Nigerians are crying. If you go on the internet, you see almost everybody talking about this particular issue. What's going on?
Yes, thank you very much. The issue of rises in the prices of petroleum products is very fundamental. It's endemic because if you look at the historical perspective, this issue and crisis in the down petroleum sector is not an issue that starts today. That's why I said it is fundamental and very endemic. You understand? It would have been very easy if Nigeria, being a very outstanding oil-producing nations in the world today, it would have been very easy if we have our own crude oil and then we transport the required quantity to the refinery that we have here in Nigeria, produce it from our own indigenous refinery, and then get it back to the marketers, which, of course, the end users will be the motorists. By this particular well-orchestrated arrangement, honestly, this issue of pricing, escalation of pricing every day wouldn't have been an issue.
Sorry to cut you short. You said something about Nigerians being able to refine its own petroleum and sending it to the marketers, and then we, the final consumers, we get there, and there will be no problem. We have Dangote refinery refining petrol now and diesel, but the price that they are giving the citizens is not something we expected. Now, how can Nigeria be refining its own petrol and selling it at 955 naira and 950 naira? And some tabloids carried some time ago that Dangote refinery said it's selling its petrol, in dollars. What concerns Nigerians and with buying petrol in dollars? Why is it that way?
It's okay. Let me take it from this perspective. You understand that, like I said before, about our local refineries. We have a particular refinery that was constructed some years back towards in 1989.
And it's not even working.
That we have about 150,000 barrels of petroleum products that's supposed to be refined in that particular facility per day. 150,000 barrels, which is several millions of liters. That's supposed to be was the quantity that right from onset will take care of the strength of the consumption in Nigeria. We also have one in Warri that was also about over 110 barrels per day. The same thing. We also have another one in Kaduna State that goes for about 125,000 or thereabout.
Still working.
Barrel. None of them as of today is working. So a situation where you cannot refine your product from the government-owned facility, government-owned refinery, there is no way you can get a stabilized price. There's no way. As long as those facilities are obsolete, as far as those facilities are not functional, there is no reason whatsoever why we can get a stabilized price and possibly a price that is minimal for Nigerians to use. Now,
So are you saying
speak
that
about Dangote Refinery.
yes,
Let me
is
come
this
in there.
monopoly?
Dangote Refinery is a private establishment.
Okay.
It is not owned by Nigerians. It is not owned by federal government. It is owned by a man who is an industrialist. You don't know how he raised the fund to be able to put up that facility that we have there. Yes, it's a large one. You don't know who are the partnership in that particular establishment and what is their motives to maximize the profits. As long as you have that facility there, privately managed, who buys a crude oil in dollars and possibly refine it and sell it back to NNPC in dollars, there is no way we can get a price that is to some extent minimal for Nigerians to use. So, and again, let me tell you something here. It is very risky for the entire nation to depend on a private facility to refine a petroleum product and feed the entire nation of over 200 million people. It is impossible. What do you say about monopoly? Are you telling me that a private body would monopolize the entire downstream sector in Nigeria?
Of
And
course.
what did you expect? Now, let me tell you, the partnership in that establishment it may not necessarily be made to the public. We may not know how that establishment come in there. Is federal government, do they have a shares in that establishment? If they do, what is the percentage shares that they have in that establishment that can make them make decisions for the welfare and for the well-being of Nigerians? That is almost impossible. That facility is privately owned, is privately managed, and what is the essence of establishing that is for profit maximization?
So why is government so much in support of Dangote Refinery if this is for someone's, private, maximizing profit?
It seems to have been the only way out for the mere fact that Nigeria as of today has no indigenous or government-owned refinery that is functional. That's supposed to be the only way out. But at the same time, the only way out that we expect is a private establishment. The federal government cannot make decisions as long as that facility is concerned. There cannot be a Father Christmas to Nigerians for the mere fact that it's sited in Nigeria. It's a private entity completely. And they are looking at what's supposed to be their private margin. You don't know how they are going to service the loan, which they may have acquired to establish that establishment there. And where do they get the fund to do that? From the profit. So they have to put all these things into consideration. So the only way out, as far as we are Nigerians are concerned, is that Nigeria to make sure they refurbish or whatever the means that they need to make sure that the 3 refineries owned by Nigerians, owned by the government, managed by the NNPC Limited, is functional to some certain level of at least 70% capacity. Once those 3 refineries are functional, we own the crude, we own the refinery, and then it's just a matter of getting those products out and then sending them to the populace, to Nigerians. The government at that point will be able to regulate the price. And again, we cannot also keep on depending on the imports. A lot of stakes is attached when you talk about importing the petroleum products. A lot of things has to be put into consideration.
I'm not cutting you short,
Thank
sir.
you.
We own the petroleum product. We own the crude oil. Why are we importing it? Why are we selling it in dollars?
Though I had an information that from the month of October that we are going in, call it in less than a month from now, the Nigerian government will be selling crude in Naira to Dangote facility. And Dangote in returns will sell the petrol, the diesel, and the kerosene to Nigerians in Naira. But until we get there, that is when we would know whether there's going to be a difference in price. The price can go down a little for the benefits of Nigerians. But at the same time, currently, it is well known that Dangote bought the product in dollars.
Where did he buy it from? What business do we have with dollars when we actually have our naira?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. That I think the federal government has put that arrangement in place. That from the month of October, crudes will be sold to Dangote refinery in naira, a local currency. Then at the same time in returns, Dangote would sell it back, the refined products, the downstream ones, to Nigerians in dollar. So we expect, but I cannot say with certainty, but we expect that during that process, the price will be a little bit manageable. That's how we are looking at it. But until we get there to the months of October. But right now, sales has been in dollars, and you cannot expect it, no matter what, the price is to be lower than what is tenable presently.
Well, at least there seems to be hope for Nigerians that sooner or later he'll be buying petrol at a lower price. But before we start fixing our refineries, which I don't even know why it's not working. Nigerians don't even know why the refineries are not working, because they're supposed to work. Had even those refineries work, we will not be depending on Dangote refinery, to supply petrol to the entire Nigeria. Come on, that's too much. But before then, what has federal government done to regulate Dangote's price? Because obviously we cannot give him, the liberty to peg his price at whatever amount he wants. Well, the economic situation is not funny. It's not. It is really biting hard on Nigerians. Many people are struggling to feed, and then there is increase in petrol, and someone is somewhere, pegging the petrol price at whatever he or she feels, he should. What has federal government done to regulate this price, pending when the refinery will come up, or pending when the refineries will start working, if it will ever start working anyways?
Well, thank you very much. There has always been this issue of deregulating the prices of petrol in Nigeria, like we have in the AGO. As at today, the government has no hand in pegging the prices in diesel in this country. It's just a free market. So you go to where you think it favors you, as long as diesel is concerned. But the petrol issue here is a little bit different, because it touches on the lives of every single Nigerian. That's the reason the government has some interest about regulating the price, because it has a direct effect on the economy and the well-being of the life of the poor and the rich, as long as the PMS is concerned. That's why government has always had a hand in regulating, trying to look at what could be tenable for Nigerians. But there has been a lot of pressure for the PMS, the petrol, to go the same way of the diesel, that is being at a competitive market, a free market for everybody. But once that happens, the government will wash its hands off, as long as the pricing is concerned. That's all about it. But I still believe that when the federal government has graciously decided that they are going to do the sales of petroleum products to Dangote in naira, first in history, and Dangote definitely must also appreciate the fact that this is what the federal government is doing to sustain that company and also sustain Nigerians. The forex, which is one of the greatest problems that we have today, and the exchange rate, which is having a lot of pressure on our currency as well, would not be an issue anymore. Once you market it in naira, our own currency, and then the refined ones are also sold back to Nigerians in naira, definitely I can assure you the prices would come down. Even if it is at a competitive market, I can assure you the prices would come down. Let's pray for that process to be successful. That is all what I can say now. I believe that the prices we have now is just tentative. We believe God that with a little time that is coming, we will have a price that will be affordable and reachable to every Nigerian.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show today. And the director, Niger Delta Development. Surveillance believes that in no time Nigerians will smile again as the prices of petrol will definitely decrease. All right, thank you so much, sir, for having you on the show. We would love to see more of you sometime again very
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much, sir. That's how far we can go on News Points today. For views, comments, and coverage of your newsworthy event and general event coverage, you can call us on 0909 000 4581. I am Ofonisa Basit Johnson. Do enjoy the rest of your day.